Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to add fog lights to a 1997 Jeep Grand Cherokee that does not already have fog lights installed. And these vehicles do actually have all the wiring already done for the fog lights. And the items you'll need for this is new fog lights from 1AAuto.com, a relay, at least 6 coarse thread screws, Phillips screwdriver, 10mm socket and ratchet, a hammer, a T25 Torx Driver, a headlight switch with a fog light button on it, and a razor to cut holes in your old bumper for the fog lights, or a new bumper cover with the fog light holes already in it. So if you're using an old bumper, you just want to use a razor and just trace around the square cutout. And you don't want to actually push the razor all the way through. There's no point in rushing it and causing a mess. You just want to keep scoring it all the way around. And then just keep repeating that process. And eventually the razor will poke through and you'll be able to punch that square out easily. Now, to access the fog lights and remove the bumper cover, you're going to need to remove these 4 screws on the grille. Each of those are just Phillips. Tilt the grille forward and lift it up and out. And then remove the 10mm bolt above each of your headlights. Pull your headlights out. And disconnect the harness on the back, and then remove this T25 screw right here, and then there's one down underneath your side marker light. You can actually just pry the T25 Torx Driver underneath and then loosen that up, and you'll be able to feel when it's loosened up, and then just remove the top one and the side marker light will pull out and you can just pull your bulb free. And then remove this T25 screw. And you may have an additional T25 screw, but ours was missing and it would be just below that. And then you just want to twist out both of the sockets and your parking light will be free. Now there's clips along the front of the bumper cover, just where the grill was, and you just got to pry up the center and pull those free. There's 2 more, and just repeat the process on those. And then remove the series of clips in the wheel wells. And just like up top, they just pry out. And you will also have a series of clips at the bottom of your bumper cover, but ours are all missing. Once you've removed all those, you can just pull the bumper cover forward and out.
So at this point, if you have fog lights, you'd obviously unbolt them right here. We're actually adding fog lights to this vehicle, so we'll put it in place. And these are self-tapping coarse thread bolts.
We'll fast forward as Mike does the rest of these, and then you want to repeat the process on the other side.
There are harnesses for the fog lights right up underneath. You got to reach up under and pull them down. They're clipped up in. Pull them down.
When you pull it down, you'll see it's just got this cap on it. Push the tab and pull the cap off. And then take the harness from your fog light and connect it to the harness on the truck.
Alright, so you can see my old bumper cover is broken, so we're going to be putting a new one on, but we just did this to show you. So at this point with the bumper cover off, if you wanted to, you could clean up these edges and make them look a little better if you wanted to. There's really no reason though. You can see as we put it on, just bring the lights and stuff up out of the way. You've got to line up this bracket with the pin. Make sure all your harnesses are out of the way. You clip it on right there. Make sure it's clipped up and on this side. And you can see the fog lights poke right through like they're supposed to.
Now we're going to install a new bumper because our other one is, as you saw, in rough shape. So you just want to transfer over the foam block inside the bumper and then line up the bumper and push it into place. Make sure you tuck the inner fender underneath the bumper. And that the top is clipped in. You'll see there's a clip on either side. And then replace this series of clips, and you want to just push in the bottom and then push the top down to lock them into place. And we'll fast forward as Mike replaces those. And if the center gives you trouble and won't push down, you can use a hammer to just knock it down into place. And now Mike will replace the clips around the rest of the vehicle. And you can see we did actually buy some additional clips so we could replace the missing ones. Push the sockets back into the parking light. And then push that back into place, clipping in the left side first, or the inside, and then the back, and then replacing those two T25 screws, and then repeating the process on the other side.
Okay, to put this in, best thing is to have the screw in, but all the way back. Put it into place. Okay, and then you gotta basically look right through here. Get the screw into the hole. And once you got it, pretty much goes right in.
And we'll fast forward as he tightens that up the rest of the way, and then replaces the other T25 Torx screw and tightens that up as well.
Alright, so you're going to reconnect the light and then just make sure these sockets go onto the balls and push it in.
Replace the 10mm bolt on either side and tighten it up. Line up these 4 tabs on your grill with these 4 slots and just push the tabs down into place. And then lean the grill back into place. And we'll fast forward as Mike replaces those 4 Phillips screws and tightens them up. Now to install the headlight switch that has a fog light button on it, we need to just pull off these trim panels, and you'll see a series of Phillips screws. And there's also some up here along the top. And then over here, another trim panel, just pull that off, and some additional Phillips screws. And we'll fast forward as Mike removes all of those. tilt the steering wheel down and then pull down on this top panel and get your fingers in there and then just pull it forward. And you can lift that up and out. And then there's 3 Phillips screws down here and an additional one on the side. And we're actually missing the 3 lower ones. So we'll just remove this one. And then you can pull this panel down and set it aside. Now remove the Phillips screws that hold in your headlight switch. And we'll fast forward as Mike does that.
The switch out and then lift up on the tab and pull out of the harness to disconnect it.
Take your new headlight switch with the fog light button, connect it, and push it back into place. And then replace those Phillips screws.
Okay, so pull this out. You have access to some fuses, but there's also a screw here and there should be a screw up here. Remove those, and then this panel, there's also probably a bolt or some kind of speed nut on here, all missing on this vehicle. But then you pull this panel out and you're going to want to pull on your kick panel, take that out. Okay, so you'll see 3 relays coming down, and you want to insert a new relay for your fog lights here.
Fast forward as Mike puts the panels back together. And in your fuse box here, you want to make sure that there's a 20 amp fuse right here. And ours already had that installed. Now just test them out. And you can see our Jeep now has fog lights. You can put this panel back into place, snap everything back in, and then replace all of those Phillips screws. Put your lower panel back into place. And replace the Phillips screws. And then put these trim panels back in place. And they're all set.
We hope this video helps you out. Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free, 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.